Yep. Oh my gosh. 1-1. We're really disappointed. But welcome to the Man United agenda. We're here to talk about Newcastle 1, Man United 1. Good evening. It's post-match now. We just drew with Newcastle at St James's Park, and the result is really disappointing, to be fair. I'm here with TALKMU. We've just done a live commentary. How are you doing, Talk?
Yeah, I mean, look, you know what? It's the point. We'll take the point. You know, I'd rather take a point than none. But I mean, I am a bit more than a bit disappointed. You know, I just think I was expecting so much more, considering we haven't played, and we had been talking about maybe Ralph will use this time to, you know, do the video analysis and, you know, talk to players about understanding the system and, you know, X, Y, and Z. And it seems like we're still struggling a little bit with it. But again, I'm not going to start pointing my fingers at Ralph at this stage, because, you know what, it's far too early for that. I just think he's struggling in terms of the personnel that he can choose.
Yeah, totally agree. I think there's so many talking points from the game today. I think the expectations have been really high since Ralph's come in, and this is the first time that we're a bit disappointed with the performance. We had 2 1-0 results in the league. It was good to see. We felt that we would progress from there. But after today, excuse me, after today, it was sort of set us back a little bit. We weren't at the races, and there's certain things I got my own reasoning why, but I'm sure people in the comments and yourself would be able to break this down. Just want to say hi to Bargav. How you doing, Bargav? He's saying great game, lads. We'll be concerned about good midfielders, said Bargav. Top point. Hi, Rebel. How you doing, Rebel? We miss you. Rebel saying the reality of the situation is abysmal performance. Apart from De Gea, the starting lineup. Starting 11 was diabolical. Stop using these long words. You want me to mess up and be on one of the week? A number of players started to mark their cards that they aren't up to wearing the United shirt. Oh, that's kind of harsh. We expected this, didn't we? Everyone's disappointed. Bargav again is saying that central presence is lacking, but the system makes it hard. Okay, so things to be. Can we just focus on the midfield? Because I want to start with the midfield. I think initially in the first half, we were really lacking. Fred and McTominay, they lack the ability to ping the ball across the park to the fullbacks, which are really supposed to be the people that are supposed to be effective for us and give us that width. And then also, funnily enough, he played Greenwood and Rashford today, but Rashford seemed to become a lot deeper, not playing the last man, and sort of tried to be this provider or number 10, which didn't really work out either. So starting with Rashford, do you want to just talk about where he was playing, where you saw him playing, what sort of positions he's picking up, and how effective was he today?
Yeah, like you just say there, he was coming deeper and you know, drifting, sort of seeming wide positions at times, and that's not his game. You know, it's just not his game, is it? You know, we like we said in the watch, we want to see Marcus Rashford running on to balls, or, you know, if he gets that where he can just drop a shoulder and skin a play and go. You know, that's what we want to see him do. And it's a bit of a, now on reflection, it seems we can say, you know, it seems a bit of an odd choice to play them like that. You know, those two, because, but why Marcus is not being disciplined in being, you know, holding his position alongside Cristiano Ronaldo and dropping back together, working together. That's what they should be doing, really. You know, but they're just not doing
totally
that for some reason. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I totally agree. I thought when I first saw the lineup, I mean, you put the lineup pre-game, I was thinking it's going to be 4-2-2-2, Rashford and Ronaldo on the last men, within that width of the 6-yard box, like I've seen in previous games. But then suddenly Greenwood seemed to be playing as the last man, and Rashford was coming out wide to pick up the ball and coming deep to pick up the ball and turn and run at people. But the problem with that is he hasn't got the ability. He runs into traffic and he doesn't seem to help the team out by playing balls, simple early balls into the fullbacks, or just playing early balls as it is. He tries tricks that doesn't work out. He tries flicks. He doesn't play the way he's facing. I like Rashford being the last man, using his pace where he's effective and running onto balls and getting in behind the defence. But playing him anywhere else, I find it really difficult to watch. It's a painful watch for me. So him playing deeper, that wasn't the one for me today. I found that difficult, especially when you got Sancho and Donny van de Beek on the bench, who are class at doing a job like that, as we saw in the second half. So Rashford really scores low for me. And maybe he was told to do that, but even if he's told to do that, surely we should know by now he's not capable of doing that to the level of other players in the squad. Anything else on Rashford?
The thing as well, also on is you reduce the risk of being able to create effective transitions if he's too deep. You know what I mean? Because then Ronaldo, he'll just get outnumbered. If there's not two players up front who are going to work the space and drag players about and create really good movement, you lose your impetus in terms of when they talk about turning the ball over and transition. That's key to what we're trying to do in this setup. You know what I mean? But again, if you got players who are dropping deeper, then we have to then. It looked to me like Marcus Rashford's coming back. He's dropping deep to help out because obviously we were getting outnumbered in the midfield. But then, if we do win possession of the ball, we have to hold it up until Marcus can then find his way back up into an attacking space and then try and play it in. But by which time it's all gone to cock anyway, because he'll get marked, or we can lose possession whilst trying to get the ball to him. Because again, in the ball players that we're supposed to have in the midfield, we haven't got them. So that bit of it breaks down. You know what I mean?
That was really highlighted today. Really highlighted today that we can't keep possession of the ball in the opposition half when they're going to be closing us down. Players like McTominay and Fred just weren't at the races, and they don't have the ability, in my opinion, to really control games like that and be comfortable on the ball. That's a major issue. Just to go through a couple more comments here. Got Rebel again. He's saying Harry Maguire brutal again. So his performance was brutal. He feels Varane showed lack of game freshness, as we saw with the goal. Dalot was cut to ribbons by St. Maximum, but who isn't? But Tommy doesn't control the game enough in midfield. I agree with that. Ronaldo, when the ball wasn't coming to him, was pretty much a passenger, he says. So all points that I tend to agree with, Rebel. Good observation.
Yeah, 100%.
So hi, Ankit. How you doing, man?
Big up, Ankit.
Races on. We're coming for Chelsea. Lukaku's back, but he's saying that was a better second half performance from De Gea. The guy is still saving United. Nothing's changed, but I'm sure you weren't expecting the quick results. Big up. Big up to you too, man. Always good assessments. Rebel says Sancho showed us glimpses of his quality in the second half. I agree. Cavani worked hard, and it was that got us the equaliser. I think the pattern of play. Kunle says, hello, Monday. You lot were so lucky. It should have been 4-1 to Newcastle. No jokes. Maximum missed a sitter. Yeah, he's probably right. They could have easily scored more than one goal. Rashford isn't looking himself lately. Good observation there, Kit. Maybe it's just post-surgery. It takes time. I disagree. I think he thinks too much of himself as a player. He should keep it more simple. And Ollie finally says, what was the panelists' predictions last night? 4-0, 3-0, 4-1. Deluded, man. So I said 2-1 Newcastle. Jinxed them early. Yeah. So, what do you think about that? I just want to focus on what, going back to a couple of points here from our very own Rebel. Harry Maguire brutal again. What do you think he means by that?
I mean, I don't think he was that bad. Do you, Harry Maguire? I think he. I don't.
That's why I was asking. What do you think?
I've got casting my mind back now to the game, trying to run it through my brain, trying to process it. I don't think he was. I think he made some absolutely sensational interceptions and making some, taking up some good positions. So I don't think he was. I don't think he was bad, if I'm honest, to be fair to him.
What about Varane? He's saying lack of game freshness.
We said that, didn't we, early on? As soon as they got that early goal, we said that's why, because he's, he has been out. He's not game ready. Not match fit is the word. And so, you know what? We accepted then early on in the game that, look, it's a mistake. So what? you know what? We're not going to let that put us off.
Can we just talk over what happened there with the goal? Because do you want to do that? Wow.
Yeah, I can't remember who was it who played the ball for Newcastle, but the end of the ball ended up bouncing, and then as it's coming back down, Varane's tried to let it go over him to bring it down on his foot to then play it back. But what he didn't do was anticipate that he was going to get closed down, in the same moment. So in doing that little passage of play, he's brought the ball down with his foot. Well, then straight away, I can't remember which Newcastle player it was that came in right behind him, just stole the ball off his toe. Boom, gone. And then Varane was caught cold, flat-footed, and that's it. We're in trouble. And as soon as it happened, I was like, oh no.
That's a poor mistake. I think as a defender, you can't dilly-dally with the ball. So the ball, he's facing our goal. As soon as he brings it, not even try to bring it down, just play it back to the goalkeeper. Play the way you're facing to sort of try and mess around with the ball there. That's a big mistake. So I think that's a great assessment by Rebel, saying a lack of game freshness. That's the only way I can really criticise him otherwise. Dalot was cut to ribbons by Saint Maximin.
Well, look, I mean, Saint Maximin was a handful for anybody because he's so quick, he's so tricky. If you when you got a player like that, you come up against a player like that. If you haven't got absolutely pinpoint accuracy timing, then it's always going to be difficult. Because if you have got pinpoint accuracy timing, you're in, bang, you set the ball off the toe, you can get the ball, even if you have to go to ground. You've gone, no, you ain't getting past me every time. But it's such a risky thing to do because you get yourself into trouble. Keep giving free kicks, etc., or throw-ins. You give them more possession than they really should. So I think. But again, Diego Dalot, I think he had some good aspects to his game. If I'm honest, he got forward quite a lot. He put a few balls in. But he does need to improve.
My point is, for the system to work, we need to bring these fullbacks into play. All right, he was up against a really dangerous guy in Maximum. I mean, he would do this against anybody, so he had to be aware. And I think he's a bit reluctant to go forward in the first half as much as he wanted because he didn't want to get caught out there. But I do think he wasn't given. Both fullbacks weren't given the ball in the right areas, and because we couldn't keep the ball in the middle of the park, especially in the first half, it was hard for us to maintain good position in high up the pitch and away from our goal, which is what Ralph desires from us. So issues there. Just moving on. So want to say hi to a few other people. Ola Kunle says, rubbish Maguire was awful. How can you not see that there's a fractured dressing room? How can you see it? How can you see it? Clearly, you've got Pogba, De Gea, Camp, and then you've got Rashford, Greenwood. So he's trying to say there's clicks in the dressing room. I'm not so sure about that. UK Strange says, I'm sorry, I've been a United fan for 30 years and we were really poor. Struggling against the 19th place team. Kunle says Varane was like a rabbit in a headlight at times. Maguire looked like he was a client waiting to happen. I'm not sure what that means. I blame Ralph. Period, says Mata. Mata United. So really, Ole's on our centre back saying they're really poor. Nothing's changed. Fuming, says UK Strains. And go get a bit of clarity here now from Ankit. He says Randrick's post-match interview is going on. He's spot on. I'd love to know what he's saying because
let us know. Let us know, Ankit. What's he in a if you can put it into a little nutshell for us and let us know what he's kind of pointing towards as the problems being in terms of us not getting 3 points. I'd be very interested.
And so Ole was saying accident waiting to happen, not client. Yeah, so I get your point. I get your point now, Kunle. Mark Carroll, how are you doing? Great watch along, guys. Terrible result. The mentality of these players is worrying, and surely looks like the right man for you. Oh, this is from the feedback from the interview. Ralph surely looks like the right man for you. Just needs to be given time, in his opinion. So that's great. Yeah. Do you want to anything about these comments?
Yeah, look, I mean, I can understand. What did I say to you? On Monday, just before the game ended? If you can cast your mind back, I said, I think, in other words, the knives are going to be out for Ralph here. Not meaning us. Yeah. I meant meaning other people. And obviously, listen, I understand why people are upset and pissed off and all blahs. But at the end of the day, just ask yourselves the question, folks. have we got enough in our midfield, which is the heart of the game? If you cannot dominate a midfield, you're always going to be struggling in a game. Doesn't matter who you've got up front, who you've got at defence or out wide. If you cannot have the control of the metronome of that midfield, you're going to struggle. And you know what? We haven't. And did you know what? I want to ask the question to you on Monday and everybody else. Now looking at the performance today, right? I'm now casting my mind and thinking, wait a minute. If you look at how we play or how we're trying to play, Paul Pogba playing a deeper role for me would be bang on, because he can. Yeah. He's honestly that I think Paul Pogba is the key at this stage to unlocking everybody else around. Can you imagine Paul Pogba with Donny van der Beek?
Yeah.
And Bruno Fernandes, and who else would you play? Maybe Jadon Sancho.
Yeah.
I mean, wow. I think there you've got a problem on your hands as an opposition.
Yeah. I totally agree with you. I think everyone disses Pogba, but like I think when was it last season when he was missing for a long period of time, he was injured, and he came back against AC Milan and proved how good he is, and everyone was raving about him. We were on the show talking about what a world-class player he is and how important he is. And I think when he's gone, you really miss him. When he's there, people like to criticize him. Oh, he's given the ball away, he does this. But today, for example, I'm watching the game, and I'm not a sort of person to cuss and swear at everybody. But when it came to Rashford and Greenwood, I'm really disappointed with them because they give the ball away. When it comes to Fred and McTominay, I get disappointed with them. They give the ball away. Nothing like Pogba level. Pogba tries a thing. He's got quality. These guys don't have that sort of same quality as Pogba. Just do what he's good at. So I do think Pogba, you're right, would be a great number 6 for us. And I think we need to sort of, if he's trained up correctly, get himself back fit, and even if he leaves at the end of the season, just get him playing in that position, because it's clear to me we need ballers in those positions. And people said Matic can't play there. For me, he can. As you see him today, he came on real calm and cool. He gets the ball. Did he give the ball away? No. Gets to the ball, he's graceful, he glides with it. He's like a Rolls Royce out there, and he gives it to feet and pops it off early. But Tommy and Fred are really struggling. It's just like a struggle to see them play clean passes. It doesn't happen, as we saw in the first half. So I'm not happy about that.
You know what it is with Greenwood and Rashford as well. Also, is you know, when the positions they play, you know, it's like you have to think about muscle memory. This comes into it because they haven't got those set of techniques in their locker that Pogba's got, because Pogba's muscle memory is all about controlling the ball, holding it up, and scanning, and he sees the pass and he knows, bang, and he hits it first time, beautiful pass. But whereas Marcus Rashford and Mason Greenwood, their muscle memory is all about short bursts of pace, you know, turning the ball and bang, you know, and so
totally.
You know, it's always going to be difficult for those guys to adjust to in the short space of time that we're asking them to. But again, I'm not disappointed in terms of Ralph trying things. I'm not going to knock him for that.
Well, I think from now, as I try to go back to what we were asking, what Ralph said in the interview. Thank you, Ankit, for getting back to us. He's saying basically he's talking about lack of energy and physicality in United, unless you're pushed against the wall. And in short, he's saying he didn't like it at all what he saw today. So hopefully he's giving the guys hell in the dressing room as well. In the change room, let them know it wasn't good enough, because it's clear that we need possession. It's all about control with him. Where was the control today? And it's down to the players. You probably set them out to say, look, control the play, everything else. But when you see Greenwood and Rashford and McTominay and Fred, 4 key players in those midfield 4, not able to do that, that's really hurts us badly. We couldn't get the fullbacks into play. And like you said, if Pogba was playing, he would be able to spray, get up, head up, like Bruno did for our goal, get up, get his head up, and play the ball in for the fullback, for Dalot to cross the ball, penalty spot, Cavani finishes dinner. Imagine Pogba being in that role. He could do that quite easily if he had someone in there with him just to marshal those 2 midfield positions. I think that's perfect.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's interesting. When is Pogba back, actually, by the way? Is there anything?
Well, he's back in training. Apparently, he's back in training, same kind of Varane, but he's more sort of work. It's a slow, because it's a muscle injury or something. It's a slow process getting him back into the into training and back into everything. But if he's back, I would like to see him start in those sort of one of those 2 positions. This Mac Fred thing clearly is not going to work every single game, and we clearly do see the deficiencies they have in the quality of progressing the ball. It's really, really lame for professional footballers. It's kind of embarrassing. You learn to use your left foot, McTominay seems scared to sort of play passes because he doesn't want to give the ball away. So he would
Yeah.
run with the ball, dribble with it, and wait till it gets on his right foot before he plays that pass. And Fred is just, even though he did play a few crossfield balls and all that, he's not consistent with it. He's always got your heart in your mouth when he's playing. He's not got the quality to do that job. So I do think it's more apparent now what sort of positions we need to sort of fill our team with better quality, and that those 2 6s is vital out there right now. Vital.
Yeah. But and do you know the interesting point there is we've mentioned this before about what Ralph Rangnick speaks about is which kind of, I think it surprised a few people when he was mentioning, about the physicality and the technical abilities, improving that.
Yeah.
Now, again, it's quite evident tonight that's where we did lack. We did lack in that technical, i.e. Rashford and Greenwood being able to supply. Physicality, there were times when we were a little bit, I think, also weak on the ball, easily dispossessed of the ball, i.e. Varane, getting his pocket picked like that in broad daylight. That should never have happened. I know, again, we talk about being out on match fitness and blah, 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 but, this should be stronger, not just physically, but also you have to be strong mentally. You're going to, you have to be totally focused. And again, I always say, when you certain patterns of playing, passages of play in the game, and you go back and watch it, you can see there's I asked you the question one day. I said, are any of these players lacking the ability to be able to play some of these simple passes? No, they're not. A lot of the time, it comes down to concentration. They're not like, they're not in the zone. You call it in the zone. The feeling. You know what it's like. You're playing football. When you're in the zone, you're in the zone. You feel that ball. You feel every.
It's been years. It's been years since you've been drilled into an attacking kind of system that works.
Yes,
I think,
exactly.
like I keep saying, it's clear. Get the fullbacks into play, overlapping, and bring them in, and then let them cross the ball over 6-yard box. That's how we scored today. That's in the system. That's how we're going to score. That means keeping hold of the ball and not trying to do it all yourself. So that's what I'm saying. If you're rushed or anything like that, or if it's not coming off, I'd rather, like we say, with that Sancho pass, we tried to bring in Telles. I'm happy about that because at least he's trying to do the right thing. But Greenwood and Sancho trying to do these things, it wasn't working for them today. It definitely wasn't working. So I just think there's a lot. Ralph is starting to sort of identify who can really do a job for him. And today, I'm glad he's upset. I'm glad he's given them an opportunity. Now, no one can say anything to him. If he picks the next team, I want to see who he picks and the reason why. Because we can have an inquest all week about what happened out there today. Because people in the knives are out. Kunle is saying, look at CV, saying he's not. This is absolute rubbish talking about not having a good CV. But you can see what he's trying. He's trying to push buttons and all that. But this is what opposition fans do. It's a great result for opposition fans. But for us, we're disappointed. We are disappointed, Kunle. And I hear what you're saying and everything else. But Ralph is the man. We're really happy with him. Newcastle, bro, struggling against 19th for the table is a joke. We made Joe Lilton look like Messi and Maximum look like Ronaldinho and John Joe like Roy Keane today. That's funny. Kunle says he can't stop laughing. Pogba, as a Liverpool fan, I hope Pogba stays. He's been such a success. That's a bit of irony there. Hi, Charlie Hibbert. Sorry, how you doing? He says, how did Ronaldo not get sent off? Because it was only yellow, I imagine. It was nothing challenge. It's talking about the Harry Kane, comparing it to Harry Kane. That's totally different. Rebel says, I think it's important to get back to the reality of the situation we're in, where we were getting the system of play, where we were composed and able to execute the game plan isn't going to come back quick. Okay, so do you think we need more game time to get this system of play rather than training? Even though training helps, do you think we need games to get this working?
I think, do you know what? I don't know. Listen, for me, I think it's a personnel issue. We again, today, with Ralph Rangnick has obviously felt the need to play a right winger / who's an actual forward in a number 10 position and a Marcus Rashford, who we know he's playing out there on the left. He plays out there on the left up front as a 2, which is all right, fine, but lacking the discipline to do that role properly. You know what I mean? So there's a bit of confusion there. There's a bit. So that tells me that the personnel isn't there. So why is that? Like we said before, he has to give players an opportunity to say, look, all right, I'm giving you the chance. All he can do is try things. At least he's not coming in and hiding and going, right, I'm going to pick the obvious players here and just play a game and then make excuses about whatever, it's this or it's that. No, he's coming and he's being quite transparent and open and saying, oh, I'm giving players a chance, right? And it's making us, the fans, realise what the problem is in the team. Because, most fans, I'd say 99.9% of fans know and will agree with exactly what we're talking about right now, that we haven't got the personnel. So, in turn, that makes it easier, in my opinion, for us to trust Ralph. That he does. Listen, you try to tell me, I'm not have anybody tell me that Ralph doesn't know what he's doing, because of course he knows what he's doing. He's a genius. And to do what he's doing right now at a big club like Manchester United is not just brave, it's genius, in my opinion. All right, we've come out with the 1-1 draw tonight, but going forward, you know what? I think we're going to gain more than we lost tonight going forward.
Just do you want to give a shout out for the likes? Get people to start liking. We've got 7 in watching right now. Can we all get the likes, guys? If you're tuned in, press the like button. All right, just to go through the comments, we're going to finish up soon. Hi, Matthew. He says, there's too many players here, just not good enough for United. Rebel says, Pogba won't be seen until mid-January. Okay, in reality, let's face it, he's mentally checked out of United already. Mino working on a free transfer for him. Ole says, dreamers, now Pogba missing his excuse. Heard it all now. Couldn't beat 19th place team with Varane, all these great players on our side, and Pogba wasn't playing. The question was asked, would Pogba make a difference as a number 6? And we were discussing that. Disappointed tonight. I'm actually stressing out with Man United. And agree, UK. I for one, don't believe Pogba is the key to fixing the problem. He's all about Pogba and not Manchester United. Just stating that I think Pogba would be, he gives us more than what we needed today from the 2 number 6s. He could do that job. We're going to round it up now. I just want to say, we've had a lot of time off with the COVID situation. Haven't played for a few weeks. The other teams are getting away from us. Tottenham, Arsenal, West Ham are dropping off a bit. So it's starting to level out in the league now, isn't it? And it's really important that we start to get, with these games at hand, get the points and get back up there, because we don't want to be sort of looking up and looking there be too far ahead of us. We've already beaten Arsenal. It's just about getting our standards. We lost a bit of momentum, it seems, today from what we had before. So I'm disappointed. It's a disappointing result. Inquest for me, I'm just going to summarise and I'll hand over to you. We're going to finish at 30 minutes. Basically, I just think today, wrong personnel, asking Rashford, asking Greenwood to do a job, coming deep and providing was not going to happen. Sancho, Bruno, Lingard, Van der Beek, these are the sort of players you need in the park to do that sort of job. And as for McTominay and Fred, we definitely need people to replace them, because on the ball they're not good enough. We need to control games in their half and bring the fullbacks in. You saw what happened when we were able to bring the fullbacks into the game. We crossed the ball across the 6-yard box and we scored goals. So that's what I want to see more of, and that's what's more important. Just be effective. Don't do what, if you're not doing what the manager's not asking you to do. Hopefully, the manager will take you out the team and get someone else in who's going to do that job. Quickly summarise before we go. Talk.
Well, look, we're 7 points behind Arsenal, who are in 4th. We've got 2 games. We've got 2 games over Arsenal, so it's not panic stations just yet. Our results, as it stands right now, in order are draw, win, 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 draw. So look, you know what? I don't know where all the panic's coming from and all the negativity. Look, it wasn't a great performance. A lot of improvements needed. We are lacking some personnel. I'm quite happy to give Ralph the time he needs in order to go through the combinations that he feels he needs to go through in order to get a right setup. Not be afraid of making mistakes. But at the end of the day, you need to make mistakes to learn. So I'm not too worried at this stage. Yeah, disappointing result, but it's Man United. We'll go again in the next game, and I'm sure we will pick up the points.
When are we back, TalkMU? When are we back for the Man United agenda?
The next one is, let me just say, I think it's the 29th, not the 29th. It's the
Burnley.
Yeah, it's Burnley. But, it's on the 30th at 8:15 kickoff. So we'll be with you.
Okay, but before then, make sure you tune in. We're definitely going to have shows in the meantime. We'll be having an inquest. We'll be talking about the system once again. So we'll probably have a show tomorrow. and any breaking news that occurs, because we're coming up to the January transfer window now, aren't we, guys? So it's really important. So if we hear any breaking news about players available, which we do need, judging by today's performance, we'll be tuned into Man United Agenda. We will be covering that 100%. Yeah. But from me, OMONDI Juma from TalkMU has been fantastic again. We've both done the watch along. Go and check out the watch along. We've both just done a little post-match show. We're disappointed, but we move on. God bless you guys. We're out, and make sure you stay tuned in to the Man United Agenda. Later.